Hi. I recently heard about the passing of Lou Balchazi, and I wanted to make a little video tribute to him because he's quite an important person in the history of Latin education. Lou Balchazi was born in Slovakia in 1937, and he died on the 28th of July 2012, aged 75. Lou himself was highly educated. He had a PhD in classics. His PhD was from SUNY University, Albany, New York, 1973. And this was on Livy's interest in the humanizing role of the law of hospitality. And if there's one thing that those people that speak about Lou, well, they would describe him as very hospitable, and he is sorely missed. My contact with him has only been through my participation in the Latin best practices listserv and the Latin Teach listserv, because every now and then Lou, who liked to keep his finger on the pulse, would pop in and give his 2 pence about a discussion taking place regarding Latin education, the direction of Latin education. Both of those two listservs are extremely active, and there are often strong arguments taking place about how to go about teaching this language that we love so much. So Lou, although he did teach at university, and he was the adjunct professor there at Loyola University of Chicago in 1979 onwards, and he published a number of papers, a number of books. The main thing that he did that really has helped in many, many ways in keeping Latin education, certainly in the Americas, alive, is his work with Balchazi Carducci Publishers. Lou has always, or had always, kept his finger on the pulse. And not only was he influenced by what Latin teachers were doing, but he was also driving Latin teachers in certain directions. For example, he was very interested in oral Latin, and he commissioned a number of things, so that he was publishing CDs and DVDs of audio Latin in restored classical pronunciation, and he promoted that quite strongly. He's also, what you would know him for, he's responsible for Dr. Seuss in Latin, because he commissioned those books, Cat in the Hat, Green Eggs and Ham, and a number of other Dr. Seuss titles. Also the Artes Latinae series, and more recently Latin in the New Millennium, which for the first time since the 1600s we have a standard textbook, a bog standard school textbook, that for the first time doesn't stop with the end of the golden age of the Romans. It keeps going. It goes into the medieval period, it goes into the Renaissance, and it even pushes right to the end, the edge of the modern era. And this is a textbook that's now being used in quite a number of schools, broadening the scope of Latin, trying to get students to realize that it's not just about the Romans. If you go to the Balchazi Carducci website, you'll see there's a large amount of material there covering a very wide range of areas. There are textbooks, there's books about Latin, and then there are books to read, books for children in Latin, republishing of books that were written previously in Latin as well. So Lou has really been very important in the English-speaking world in Latin education. He's the kind of person who really is irreplaceable. Although the organizations that he's set up and the things that he's done will keep going, of course the force of the man, that's gone. But we remember him fondly, and whenever you pick up your copy of Cat in the Hat or other books that you may have, which you may not know come from Balchazi Carducci. Remember Lou, and remember the things he's done to help Latin take that leap into the next century. So we can just wish Lou farewell and say Awe, Atque, Wale. Goodbye, Lou. You'll be missed.